Hello, my name is Rita Bachmann. I'm a Senior Solution Architect at Quest Software. I'm going to show you how to provisioning from SAP HR system through ActiveRoles Server Quick Connect into Active Directory and then back from Active Directory through ActiveRoles Server Quick Connect into SAP ECC system. An additional part of the Quest One identity solution is the integrated single sign-on solution for SAP SAP GUI and SAP web-based NetWeaver solution. After the connector is installed, I have to provide the connection settings, such as server name, system ID, client ID, and a user account with proper access rights to connect to the subsystem. This account should have rights to all the necessary information which should provision to Active Directory. After all the entries are done, I can verify if the connection is correct to the system. The next option is to set the scope. You can set the scope either for an SAP employee, which is related to the HR module, or for a normal SAP system user. You have also the possibility to set the scope on the Active Directory ActiveRoles Server side. I will not set this option yet. I will do this later on the synchronization side. If you need password synchronization, you have also the possibility to enable the password synchronization between Active Directory and SAP system. So the last step now is to run the synchronization step I created. It will now check my Active Directory side and my SAP side if users are existing on AD side, and check all the attributes on the SAP side if all the attributes are okay. So I can see 3 objects are on the SAP side. I can check the source object, and then I can see all the attributes mapped to the attribute on Active Directory side. So I click close and commit those changes and let run this in my AE now. So I can close, synchronization is okay. If I switch to my Active Directory, do a refresh, so I can see my users, for example the Peter Muster, and I will check the options so you can see phone number, the display name, last name, first name. On the address I can see the street, the city, the zip code, and organization. I have my employee ID and the title. That's a title from the SAP site. So as you can see, the user is created proper in my system, and I'm now able to log on with this user in my Active Directory. The next step is to create a synchronization workflow. For this I have to switch to the workflow tab and create a new workflow. Then I have to add a synchronization step, choose the operation type like provision from my source, so in this case my SAP system, into Active Directory. Click next. So my source system is the SAP system I configured before. Important now, I have to switch here from the standard SAP user to the SAP employee. SAP employee means that's the HR side on SAP. Then I have to browse to my Active Directory OU in which I want to create my users from SAP. So this OU here, and then I have to create a provisioning rule how to generate the object name in Active Directory. So I will switch this to rule, and my rule will be first name space last name Okay, so as you can see, first name space last name. Then the next option is to create the population rule. So for this I will choose the ID field, which is related to the employee ID attribute in Active Directory. Then next, for example, city. As you can see, if there is appropriate attribute in Active Directory, it will automatically collect this attribute. Country, department, first name, then we have job title, last name, then we have the mail address, we can pick the room number, state, for example, street, phone number, zip code, and for example, if we use as a company card, we can also use the license plate of the company card. That's in AD something like car license. Then the next step is an initial password. So I can either type in a standard text, a rule, or a script how to create the password for the user in Active Directory. So I type in password 12. Then I've also the possibility to define how the user account options are set. So for example, account is disabled, I will click this out. Then user must change the password at next logon. I can leave this. So I go to finish, and now I'm ready. An important thing is to do the mapping. The mapping between Active Directory and my connection, so in this case my SAP system, between the CN and the display name. This will check in Active Directory and in SAP of existing users. So I have my 4 objects. Why it's 4 now, as you can see after the mapping is finished. So this user here, I have created a user already in Active Directory with my last name and my first name, and I have also the same user in SAP. So it will map automatically existing users from both sides. So in the end I can configure the mapping, and if I have some changes on AD side or in SAP side, it will automatically do the updating of those objects in the system.